Hey guys, Joe the Auto Guy here. If you didn't know, my project truck, Project Tow Rig, is a 2002 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD with a 6-liter gas motor. My rear end took a crap on me. Ended up being too expensive to rebuild, so I'm actually got a whole new used unit. So this video is gonna be basically I removed the unit and prepped this one with, painted it up, made it all nice, and this is going to be basically just a quick thing of how to would prep the new unit to be installed. So we're going through cleaning the back plate, filling it with fluid. There'll be another video with removal and installation later. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay guys, to start off, we are going to remove the back cover. 13mm bolts all the way around. Using the impact to make short work of this. Taking them out lightly and just going around getting the cover off, and we're going to end up taking that cover off and cleaning it with a wire brush on the bench grinder. Easy part of the setup to make sure that surface is clean on that end. Next, we're going to be cleaning this part right here, and you can see this is kind of a little difficult. I love these super scrapers that I'm currently using, but you can see sometimes you just can't quite get down to what you need. And I mean, these do a good job. They dig deep. Make sure they're nice and flat. You can see these actually carve right through to the metal surface, get rid of all the gasket material. But even though these things work really great, they just don't really force that gasket material off that's been on there forever. So what we're going to do to change that is actually use a little thing that's used in the medical world, but it bites on very fast, and it is actually a scalpel. And you can see using a scalpel, they're razor sharp, and they actually just dig right down, and you can kind of precisionally knock down all the gasket material that's on this rear end, and any other material too. I mean, they just cut right down where you need. So you can get my hands out of the way there. You can see you can just get right up underneath this, almost go right down to the material. We'll just speed that along. And speeding it right along, you can just easily use the scalpel to trim off all this piece to get to that sealing surface. Multiple steps, and then we're going to go back to using the super scrapers. The super scrapers are a carbide blade that I actually truly love. As far as any gasket scrapers out there, I have not used any single one better. A little more on the expensive side, but they are lifetime guaranteed to be sharp. Just like I said, they're a carbide edge blade. You can just push along, and it'll, as long as you don't have a very thick portion of it, it'll scrape right down to the sealing surface. You actually can it'll reveal machining marks that you didn't even know were there anymore. And that's how very fine it gets against the sealing surface without actually carving into it. If you're doing aluminum or something that's like that, you can bite in there a little bit, but as long as you're careful, this thing will precisionally push and just make very quick work of this. So it only took me a couple minutes to do, and you feel a lot better about the gasket surface when that thing is all clean. So the next step is we are going to actually clean the gasket surface up with a little brake cleaner. So it's using the rag with the brake cleaner, give a quick clean of the gasket surface. And what I'm actually going to do is, while it's open and pointed down like this, I'm going to actually fill it with some fluid. I feel a lot better about getting that pinion bearing soaking in gear fluid versus just kind of hoping it gets oiling to it right away. So this rear end takes about a little under 3 quarts, so I'm going to pour about 2 quarts in it, and you can see I'm just doing the bearings, a little bit in the ring gear itself, getting it all over that locker. And like I said, just feel a lot better about giving that pinion bearing some time to just get soaked in. Just to get soaked in there. And we are on quart number 2. You can see I'm just soaking those side bearings in. Like I said, there's no real science to this. I've never heard about anybody doing this, but it makes me feel a lot better. I don't know how long this thing's been sitting. It's definitely a low mileage differential. Like I said, I just feel way better about it. So, now with us getting, you can actually see the fluid come up on the ring gear. The pinion bearing's definitely soaking. We go ahead and start getting this thing ready to be sealed up. You can see that I've cleaned the cover up on the back side. We've cleaned that cover up. I'm just kind of straightening it out, seeing which way this was going to go. Get the camera angle a little better. And I'm using a Kwikset 5-minute RTV. So you assemble this and you're almost ready to use this immediately. My nozzle was a little clogged, so I actually had to do a second pass at this. Normally you just make a nice clean line, 1/8 inch bead, and it would easily seal up, but you can see I kind of got some squiggles in there and I just didn't feel comfortable. But leaving those alone, so we're just do a second pass, make sure there is enough RTV. And there is a gasket available for this particular model, but I just didn't have time to get it. So the Kwikset RTV will do its job, especially with both surfaces being absolutely clean and straight, thanks to those super scrapers. And now we are going to bolt on the cover. So we're going to lay it down as precise as as possible over the holes. You don't have to be dead on perfect, because this stuff will set up and fill some gaps. So we're going to start putting some bolts in. Just get these all started, make sure they're in threads so you're not stripping anything out. Going all the way around real quick, make sure you put the brackets back where they're supposed to go. And voila, we're ready to start bolting it in. Using impact, but I'm not going hardcore on them at all. We're just lightly putting them in. Low power. Checking all the bolts to make sure we're seated. And we're good to go. And we're actually let this sit, seal up, and then it'll be ready to put up in the car. And it's just that simple. So, thanks for watching. We'll just give you some idea of some prep work you might have to do and added costs. Remember, fluid and materials when you're replacing a rear end, not just U-bolts and all that jazz.